So, the other day I sat awfully looking weird, staring at people. I call it people watching, really nice word for it. And I saw people ignoring others and leaving them to feel alone, and I observed smiles quickly fading as soon as another joke had been made. You try to laugh it off, but you're just like, man. But despite all these small actions, they pave a road for both the person who receives the actions and the person who does them. In spite of all the videos schools show and all the videos online, bullying is still an issue, and I used to be ignorant to this fact. I'd be overruled with irritation the moment another video about bullying was shown. I thought, since we're the 21st century, we've all had this figured out by now. However, that was far from the truth. Until a few months ago, I would have said that it was no longer an issue and that it was solved long before I was born, but then things got really bad for me. I saw my best friend get called a whore every day, I got mean text messages every day, and mostly I just saw a lot of hatred around for everyone. If it wasn't mean words degrading someone every single day, it was excluding someone by leaving the room. For example, I went into the library and a lot of my best friends just walked out because they hated me, and they made it clear by sending mean songs every day and just more. But this isn't a sob story, so we'll skip past that. And it sounds like something from a movie, but these things actually happened. In fact, it wasn't until those things happened to me that it made me see it as a problem. Words repeating, tears dropping, quiet cries, and bathroom breaks to sob, that was when it truly struck me. Shaky hands, quick heartbeats, I no longer wanted to go to school. How alone are other people? What people do to you matters. Your feelings are valid, and I wish someone would have told me that. After this thought, I decided to do some research, and that no matter what happened to me, I had to go out and find some answers. My first solution was to make their lives miserable. I mean, absolutely awful. But as Gandhi once said, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. I sat a while and noticed all I wanted to was go and just cry in my room and talk about it and be like, Mom! But I couldn't do that all day, so I just had to talk about it, face my feelings, Humans have a desire to communicate. This led me to create my own little study, and I decided to send out a survey and see what the results were. 76-ish% said that they had never bullied someone, which completely outweighs how many people actually say that they get bullied, which is almost every single person you know. Which makes me think that maybe you don't realize what you're saying actually hurts someone, but it obviously does, because 91% of people-ish think that they've been bullied, which they probably have. And a lot of it has actually been talked about appearance, which makes me really sad because I think it's ignorant to bully someone off of appearance. How shallow can you be to hate someone off of appearance? Crooked teeth, awkward shuffles, scars and all, you're all beautiful. Don't hide behind walls, cover yourself up, and begin to hate yourself, because that is when they've won. A few years ago, I wore a trench that covered my body, a trench coat, and I was ashamed of how awkward I was. I vividly remember thoughts repeating like a broken record in my mind, and I was too scared to throw away my lunch because I was afraid that the eyes would watch me. It made my hands shake with fear. And I would hide in the bathroom until everyone had left the school before I'd walk home because I was too scared of what they would think about me. At that point, they had won. It became a spiral of self-hatred, and I would go home and cry for hours until I was numb and couldn't cry anymore, leaving me to feel heavy. I then hoped it wouldn't last forever. I then assumed that bullying was only an adolescent issue and that as people matured, it would go away. However, I was disappointed. When I went to my mom and decided, hey, adults get bullied, she was like, bullied? I don't think so. But it is what it is called, and I think we're kind of ignorant to that fact as well. One of my biggest memories is watching my mom curled up in a ball on a couch, and I asked her what was wrong after I noticed some odd silence in the room. And it took me a minute before I realized that she had been crying. And I asked her what was wrong, and her coworker had been so rude to her, she didn't want to go to work anymore. Everyone needs help, and it became clear that she too needed help. Muffled cries and tear-soaked pillows, heavy shoulders weighed down by boulders from exclusion and hatred, bloodshot eyes wandering down to the ground. The thing I learned was to not look up, but I looked up. And I saw so much pain worn down on every single person's faces. There was no longer bubbly people. It was more of a gray, dull, heavy boulder just rolling around, you know? You looked lazy. I saw their pain, and I saw how quickly their smile had faded because I too was in pain. And I want everyone to realize that any small issue can get big. Just like holding a glass of water, it doesn't matter how big the glass of water is, the longer you hold it, the heavier it feels. My problem kept growing. It felt like it was so big I never wanted to get up again. It wasn't that I wanted to die, but something in my life had to change. And I began to skip school so much that it had affected my grades beyond saving, in my opinion. And according to my study, I wasn't 100% alone in that, but a lot of people just said that they dealt with it and it just made them sad. Oh, I thought it made you happy, but you know, it's okay. There has to be a solution. If this is a problem, you must first identify it. My father taught me something. He said, if you have a car and there's an issue, you must first realize what the problem is. Once you can name what the issue is, you have to admit it and find out how to fix it. We are all made of skin and bone, and we must rely on others. So, if you are a broken car that can no longer keep going, get a shove to get help. Maybe your help is different. Personally, I like to talk a lot. And when I finally began to talk, I never would shut up. If it wasn't actually speaking, it was poems scribbled across scattered notebooks and more. If your solution is to cry into a pillow, cry into a pillow. But most of all, understand that you're not alone and that I care. There will never be another you. You're 1 in a billion and nothing will be able to create that again. So understand that you're amazing and don't let the hatred win. Thank you.